Hey guys, it's me, it's Queen Osset Haru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Alright guys, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Pass it on to somebody else who might like it as well. And yeah, leave us a positive comment in the comment section. And don't forget, underneath this video is all my contact information and the new merchandise that I am selling on Teespring with all of my favorite Ask an Aquarius slogans and sayings, and they're really cool and great for the holidays. So I want to talk to you guys about something that's very serious. I was talking to a Cancer male, and he told me that he is in a relationship with an Aquarius female. Now, y'all already know, that's not one of my favorite vibrations. These two together got some good stuff, but they got some bad stuff too. So this is a really rough vibration. So I told him, I said, you know, any couple can work. If two people are willing to nurture a relationship, regardless of their sun sign, regardless of their planets, regardless of everything, they can make it work. They just have to put in the effort to nurture the relationship. It's just like a tree or a plant. If you put your effort into nurturing it, 9 times out of 10, it will grow. So I told him, I said, no, it's not my favorite vibration. No, it's not the easiest vibration to find compatibility and harmony, but it can happen. I talk to people all the time who are with somebody who you be like, huh? You with who? How many times have somebody told you who they're in a relationship with, their sign, and you be like, really? I talk to Cancers all the time who are with Aquarius. I talk to Libras who are with Capricorns, which is like, okay. You know, I hear all kinds of combinations that are strange to me, but it works for them and it works well. Or they make it work one way or another, right? So when it comes to the Cancer Aquarius, it is very possible. But he told me he's having some very specific problems. So let's talk about these issues. Number one, he said that the Aquarius is not patient with him. Okay? He said the Aquarius is beautiful. She's smart. She's charismatic. They have a very passionate love affair, sex life, you know, going on. But he said that she yells at him. She gets impatient with him. It's like he said that they'll be, you know, fine or whatever the case is, but he can tell when she's getting impatient or when he's being too clingy, basically, is what he said. And she gets impatient with him and she yells at him. So he's like, how am I going to be in a long-term relationship with a woman who's so easily frustrated with me? Okay? That was one of the problems he said they're having. And he said the other problem is the clinginess. She feels like he's clingy. And a lot of Cancers tell me that they have that issue. And a lot of people tell me they've had that issue with Cancers. Not all of them, of course, but it's common. So he's like, how am I going to be able to be in a relationship with her if she's yelling at me, she's impatient, and she already thinks I'm clingy, and we just got together? But the problem is that they really like each other. They have a strong emotional connection. They really like each other. And they have a lot of, like I said, passion and energy. So I told him that I would consider it and I would answer his question on video. And basically the bottom line is you can't. If she can't be patient with you, your relationship is not going to work. So this is what I would do. I would talk to her. I know Aquarius, like he mentioned that when he tries to talk to her, like emotionally speaking, it's kind of difficult because she doesn't really have the language for her emotions, really don't want to talk about how she feels. So I'm like, I feel you. I got you on all of that. But you have to talk to her if you want to be able to take this to the next level. If you want to be able to stay in this relationship or propel this relationship forward, you got to talk to her. And you have to tell her that if we're going to do this, a couple of things need to happen. Number one, we have to talk. We have to communicate about our feelings. And I know that's hard for you. I know that's not something that you like doing. But in order for us to understand each other, And to really have a good relationship, communication is key. Every couple I know that's successful and has stayed together for more than 10 minutes will tell you that talking and communication is important if you're going to be happy. Okay? So that's going to be really important. The next thing I would do is I would tell her that I need her to be more patient with me. Just flat out tell her. Like, sometimes you get really impatient with me and you yell at me, and it makes it difficult for me to talk to you or to relate to you when you're behaving that way. And she'll probably tell you that your behavior frustrates her and she doesn't really know how to address it, blah, blah, blah. And, y'all go from there. And the other part, you said that you know that you're clingy. Stop being clingy. I know that's easier said than done if you truthfully are clingy, as you said you are. So I know that's easier said than done, but work on it. None of this is easy. That's what I'm telling you. None of this is going to be easy. But if you both work on the areas that you're not strong in together, you'll get better. You'll get stronger together. One thing I like about Cancers is, especially for an Aquarius, is that Aquarius aren't very good all the time with their emotions. So when you get into a relationship with a Cancer, you're going to have to talk about your feelings. You're going to have to, because that's going to be a large part of the conversation. Cancers often talk about their feelings, And if you're in a relationship with a Cancer and you're not good with your feelings, it can be a really powerful training ground for you to understand your feelings, learn how to talk about your feelings, get that good language, going on. And he seems good about dealing with his feelings. So I think that for her, that could be a good situation because it'll help her in those ways, And like I said before, notice is not an easy vibration. These two are very different. But the great thing about their differences is that they can help each other. The Cancer, in this case, and in a lot of cases, not all, are pretty good with their emotions. If they have learned how to, navigate and surf those emotions, that kind of person is great for an Aquarius who hasn't learned those skills yet. This is a great situation. And for a Cancer, the Aquarius can help them to not be so clingy, because the Aquarius is detached. We have to attach. We like a little bit of space. We like our space, I should say. So that can help him learn not to be so clingy. So they both have some good stuff going on that they can teach each other if they can both agree to working on the situation. So the first part of this is a conversation. So I would not automatically assume that it can't work and it's not going to, go anywhere. You could, but the question is, are you willing to be committed? Are you both willing to be committed to the relationship moving forward? And if you're not, then no, I wouldn't keep wasting my time with it. But if you both are, then yeah, you can both grow a lot in this situation and end up in a great, relationship. And that's true of any two sun signs that don't traditionally match. I've been in relationships with a number of different sun signs. And basically for me, I just wasn't committed. That's the bottom line. I just wasn't committed to working through whatever the kinks were. I never have been. That's why I'm not with anybody now, because I'm sitting there thinking, like, do I really want to commit to working through these kinks that are definitely going to come up no matter who you're with? Even if you're with the person who you're very, very, very compatible with, kinks are going to come up. Obstacles are going to come up in your path. So imagine being with somebody who you're not really that compatible with, but you really do love. So we're going to have more obstacles 9 times out of 10. So it's really up to them. The other thing I'm going to tell you is that, Cancers can be very sensitive. And as an Aquarius, when I was seeing a Cancer, one of the biggest problems I had is that I never knew what to say. I was always monitoring what I said, because I've said things And I've had relationships with 2 different cancers, and I've said things and they got upset, very upset with me, and I didn't even know what I said. I was like, what happened? They had to tell me, like, you did this, you said that. And I'm like, I did? Well, yeah, I did say that. Like, they will get upset. They're very sensitive. Aquarius are sensitive too. People get that twisted. Aquarius are sensitive, but not in that kind of a manner. Cancers, I had no idea when I was going to poke a nerve by accident. I had no idea. Like the smallest kind of things. I remember the last argument me and Voldemort had. And Voldemort and I had a lot of issues like this. I'm surprised we even dated for as long as we did, because we had a lot of issues along these lines. I never knew when I said something that upset him until he snapped on me a little bit later, And one of the last fight we had was because I sent him a link. It wasn't my link. It wasn't something I wrote. It was a link, and it was about men's clothes. And he didn't like the wording that the author used in it was like an expose. It had pictures, and it had little background stories about these male models. And Voldemort likes clothes, so I thought he would like it. It was these big and tall models. He's a big and tall person. And I was like, oh, this is cool. And they had all these decent outfits on. And each gentleman, the author wrote something about the gentleman and their clothes and their modeling career and that kind of thing. Voldemort snapped on me because he didn't like the wording of the article. An article that I didn't write. Okay? So when you're dealing with a Cancer, especially when you're dealing with a narcissistic, unhinged Cancer, even when you're dealing with a normal, nice Cancer, you never know when you're going to touch something you didn't mean to touch. They're sensitive in that way. And that's why I said Aquarius are sensitive. There's some other signs that are sensitive too. But the way that Cancers can be sensitive, some of the times I was clueless. I had no idea why he was mad. And he went off. He went off about it, and it's emasculating, and he was like going off, and I was like, they're talking about clothes. Like, what are you talking about? They're talking about shopping and fashion. What are you talking about? And he just went off in this tangent, and I to this day don't know what the hell was wrong with him. I just cut him off because I was like, you know what? He crazy, and he always gonna be crazy. That's it. And I just accepted it and moved on. I was like, I don't have to say nothing else. I understand you still going to be touched in the brain. So basically, these, kind of things can happen. And that's just a one very simple example. You never know when you're going to touch a soft spot with them, or something that they're funny about, or something that's one of their pet peeves, or something like that. So as an Aquarius, she needs to be very considerate and cautious when dealing with him. Like he said, her yelling at him, stuff like that. She can't be yelling at him. That's not going to work. She can't be yelling at him, and she got to be, she has to be conscious of the fact that he's sensitive. And that's the bottom line. Now, for me, that level of sensitivity, if it's at that height, I won't deal with. I would never deal with a man or a woman, at this point, a woman like Voldemort ever, whose sensitivity is that high. I would never do that. But if their sensitivity is normal, like with a normal Cancer, I could see somebody being in relationship, like in this situation with these two. He seems pretty normal to me. He seems pretty nice. So if she can stop yelling at him and, be conscious of the fact that he's sensitive, I think that they could be okay in that way. So yeah, these are some of the things that I've come across and I've experienced when dealing with the Cancer energy. And I'm going to tell you, I don't care what your sun sign is. If you're in love with somebody, both of y'all commit, put on your gloves, put on your big girl drawers or your big boy boxers or whatever the case is, and commit to doing the work. And if you don't want to do the work, just don't just don't. Tell the person you don't want to do the work, and don't play at it. Don't be kind of committed but not committed. Don't do any of those things. Step up or don't. Like Yoda said, there is no try. Either do or do not. So if you with it, step up, commit to it, work it out. If you're not, gon' get. Because you're wasting their time and you're wasting yours. Okay? So I hope things work out between you and the Aquarius. All right, guys, it's time for me to get going. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to get a reading done, please email me and I'll give you an appointment. If you want to check me out on social media, or if you want to check out my new Ask an Aquarius merchandise, all that information is underneath this video. If you would like to give me a Christmas present, my Amazon wish list is underneath this video. And check out my wish list, because you'll be really surprised at some of the things that are on it. And if you're an Aquarius, or if you're a Harry Potter lover, you will definitely see some cool stuff on there. Just the other day I was adding things and I was like, oh, this is really cool. All right, guys, it's time for me to get going. So come back soon, because I got a lot more to say. See you later.